Now, isosceles are two triangles, or triangles, that have two sides that are equal. Once again, let me say that again. Isosceles are triangles that have two sides that are equal. Now, before we talked about triangles, right? Remember the smallest angle is opposite from the smallest side. The biggest angle is opposite from the biggest side. Now, if two sides are equal, then that means that two angles are equal. The same way can be seen in question number 1. Notice I have two angles that are marked, and I have them marked the same way. So because those two angles are the same, then there are two sides that are equal. Now, if I look at the angle on the top, let me highlight it in blue. Right, that angle was marked. The side that is opposite to that is this side. Let me take a look at the other angle that I have marked. This angle, the side that is opposite to it is this side. Now, because those two angles are equal, then that means that those two sides are also equal. The way I'm going to solve for x, I'm going to let those two equal each other. So x plus 20 is equal to 12. Right, because those two angles are equal, that means that those two sides are equal. That way I'm going to leave x by itself, the plus 20. Let me move it over as a minus 20. Right, don't forget to switch the side. So x equals negative 8. For your homework, just type in negative 8. You don't have to type in x equals. Now let's take a look at number 2. Those two angles that I marked them the same way, so that means that those two angles are equal. If I look at one of them, let me highlight it in red. The side that is opposite from it is this side. If I look at the other angle, let me highlight it in blue. The side that is opposite is this side. Remember, in geometry, opposite means far away. Now, those two angles are equal. Remember, I marked them the same way. So those two angles are equal. That means those two sides must be equal as well. X plus 15 is equal to 8. To solve for x, let me subtract 15 on each side. So I'm going to have that x equals negative 7. Let's take a look at question number 3 now. Those two sides are equal, right? Notice how now I'm marking the sides. Those two sides are equal. Let me mark one of them. Let me highlight one of the sides in red, and let me mark the opposite angle in red. Let me take a look at the other side. Remember, sides, I always mark them with slashes. This side, the opposite angle is this one. Because those two sides are equal, I'm going to say those two angles are equal. So in this case, I'm just going to say x equals 77. Simple as that. I already solved for it. Because those two sides are equal, those two angles are equal. Now, sometimes I might not give you the two angles that are equal to each other. Let's take a look at number 4. Let me highlight one of my sides in red. Right, I'm looking at the sides that are marked. Let me highlight one of my sides. The opposite angle is this one. Remember, opposite means far away. Let me highlight the other side that is marked. The opposite angle is this way. If one of the angles was x, the other angle was 65, then I will say x equals 65. Unfortunately, x is neither of those two angles that I marked. The blue angle, I don't see anything there, but since the red and the blue sides are equal, then the red and the blue angles are equal. So I'm going to say the blue angle, I don't see anything. However, I know it's 65. Remember, those two angles are equal. Now, the way I'm going to solve for x, if you look at the triangle, you have all three angles. We know if we add everything, the three angles, let me go x plus 65 plus 65. I know if I add the three angles of a triangle, it is equal to 180. So let me solve this as an algebra question. I'm going to separate my sides through the equal sign. The left side, I'm going to have x. 65 plus 65, that's 130. So I have x plus 130 equals 180. To have x by itself, the 130, let me move it over. Don't forget to switch the sign. So I get x equals 50. So do be careful though. Sometimes, like in question number 3, the two angles that I give you are equal to each other. Sometimes they're not. So be careful on that. Now, question number 5. Notice how all three sides are equal. That's what we call equilateral. All three sides are equal. Because all the three sides are equal, then that means all the three angles are equal. So x in this case is 60. Because all three sides are equal, all three angles are equal. One of them is x, the other one's 60. X equals 60. Now with isosceles, let's take a look at another example of isosceles. Only two sides are equal. All right, let me highlight one of the sides. Let me highlight it in red. The opposite angle from that side is this one. Remember, opposite means far away. The other side that is equal to it, let me highlight it in blue. The angle that is opposite to it is that one. So the blue angle, in this case, it's x. The way I'm going to solve for x, I'm going to add the three angles. So let me go x plus 88 equals 180. Let me separate them to the equal sign. When it comes to letters, 1x plus 1x, that gives me 2x plus 88 equals 180. The plus 88, let me move it over as a minus 88. So I have the 2x equals 92. To have x by itself, let me divide by 2. X equals 46. So isosceles triangles, two sides are equal, then two angles are equal. The same thing with the angles. If two angles are equal, then two sides are equal. Just be careful which information I give you. I might give you the two angles that are equal, or I might not. So be careful on the angles that I give you.